Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Thursday's Thought for the Day. Whoever you are who is watching and listening to these thoughts for the day, or this thought for the day, each one of you, I am sure, has faced real challenges and difficulties at some point in your lives. I know I have many times. Not one of us is immune from trauma or suffering. But as Christians, how do we cope when things go wrong? And what does God teach us during those struggles? Even when we say, where is God? You know, the Bible talks about or gives examples of people who suffer or who experience tragedies. Think about the Apostle Paul. He was stoned and he was beaten. He was shipwrecked and ridiculed during his time as an apostle. But still he said, "We are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed. Perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not abandoned. Struck down, but not destroyed." And we know for certain that Jesus wasn't exempt from emotional and physical pain. But in the midst of our troubles in life, what do we learn from God? Well, when we're going through a hard time, it's really difficult to see that there could be anything at all positive that could come out of our situation. It could be a job loss, it could be a bereavement, it could be abuse, it could be illness. And in those times, it's difficult to look or to see for what God might be trying to teach us or to help us with while we are suffering. And sometimes, and I know this is the case for myself, it's not until the trauma is over that we can understand what God has taught us through those hard times. Jesus said in John, he said, "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand." And it may be years before we can look at that time in our lives and realize that, hey, you know, God was there and God was teaching us something. That God was showing us something through that experience. Now, I'm very careful to say that God hasn't necessarily given you those difficult times. That's a mistake we can make sometimes. But He can use those difficult times. You know, there's plenty of examples in our society today who have suffered great traumas and tragedies in their lives and have been able to use those experiences to help others in a positive way, or who have even become great Christian leaders in spite of their struggles. I'm thinking of someone who passed away more recently, you know, Desmond Tutu. If you read about his early life or the difficulties in that situation that he was living in. Sometimes it does feel like God isn't helping you because He didn't stop the trauma from happening. When things go wrong in life, as Christians we usually cry out to God for help, and help ask him to fix the situation or help us through it in some way. But what is God actually doing for us during those times if he doesn't fix the problem? Is he doing nothing? Is he abandoning you? Max Lucado, who's a Christian author you may know of, says God never promises to remove us from our struggle. He does promise, however, to change the way we look at them. Sometimes God helps us to change our perspective on a problem. Gives us people that might help us change our perspective. And he gives us a chance, an opportunity to see it through new eyes. As I say, sometimes he sends us friends and family to help us through our troubles. And sometimes God just becomes that listening ear for us to vent until it's our time for that hardship to pass. And we always have to remember the verse in Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 5, that states, "Never will I leave you. Never will I forsake you." This verse is a constant reminder to us that no matter what troubles we face in life, God will always be right there with us. I hope that it speaks to someone. I hope that these thoughts for the day are helpful to at least one person. And you take care of yourself. And I'll speak to you on Monday. God bless. Bye-bye.